Welcome to Fright Fest and welcome to Night of Lord Tresserhorn. Hopefully we can get Niv-Mizzet on the chopping block on Lord Tresserhorn's nice little tree stump over there. I think we'll be able to take that smug smile right off his face pretty quick. As far as opening hand goes, we have Marsh Flats into Faithless Looting. Do we want to hold on to this hand? We have to get really lucky, but we've got Crypt Breaker and Hero's Downfall. Yeah, let's keep on this one. This is pretty risky, but at least we have turn one Faithless Looting to hopefully hit a few more lands. And then I just really like Lightning Greaves for Lord Tresserhorn against Niv-Mizzet. So hopefully we'll see if this hand pays off. And in fact, let's see what we draw into. Draw into Crumbling Necropolis. I will take that. Let's go and get that into play tapped, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So we're playing Lord Tresserhorn. Hope you're excited and happy Halloween. Whenever Lord Tresserhorn enters the battlefield, you lose 2 life and you sacrifice 2 creatures, and target opponent draws 2 cards. Then for 1 black mana, regenerate Lord Tresserhorn. We're playing against Niv-Mizzet. Let's see what they're going to get down. Young Pyromancer. That's not too bad. And drawn to Sad Robot. Let's go to get down Marsh Flats. Let's go and crack Marsh Flats for a... probably need to grab another black source if we want to get down Hero's Downfall. So let's go ahead and go for a Underground Sea. Yeah, let's grab that. Let's grab Underground Sea. Let's go for Faithless Looting. And drawn to Vampiric Tutor and Swiftfoot Boots. Let's go and get rid of, at this point right now, let's go and get rid of Lightning Greaves. Since we do have Swiftfoot Boots, we do have a lot of spells that actually target Lord Tresserhorn, so we're going to get rid of Lightning Greaves at this point. And then let's go and get rid of... we'll go and get rid of Trick Bind. I think we're okay with that. Let's get rid of Trick Bind, and then while our opponent is tapped out, let's go and go for Vampiric Tutor, because that's going to put us on for Ancient Tomb and Sad Robot for next turn, and that'll allow us to get that extra source for Lord Tresserhorn, and give us another creature to sacrifice, which can be really good. So let's go put Ancient Tomb on top of our library, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Playing against Niv-Mizzet, flying. The spell cannot be countered. Then whenever you draw a card, Niv-Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target. Then whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. So, thankfully, Niv-Mizzet is triple blue and triple red, so they'll need to get some sort of action on the battlefield. But at this point right now, with Young Pyromancer, we definitely want to deal with Young Pyromancer, because if they get a whole board of elementals, it'll definitely make it hard for Lord Tresserhorn to get over there and start swinging his axe at our opponent. Let's go and draw into Ancient Tomb. Let's go and get down Ancient Tomb. Let's go and go for Sad Robot. They might have a counter spell for this. If they do, it's not too bad. We'll at least hopefully get down Sad Robot, grab ourselves a red source. There we go. I like that. Let's grab a mountain. Actually, now that I think about it, let's just go and grab Swamp, I think, on this one. Red's really almost kind of a splash in this deck, so we definitely have a lot more stuff like Hero's Downfall and Crypt Breaker to go for, and then anything else, we're going to kick it back over to our opponent. Now, for next turn, we do need to get down at least 2 creatures for Lord Tresserhorn. Unfortunately, we're going to give our opponent some sort of card advantage once it enters the battlefield. We do have a couple different ways to kind of negate the card draw. We do have Notion Thief in here and Torpor Orb. That's one of the fun cards that basically kind of keeps any sort of enter the battlefield trigger from happening. And they end up actually targeting Lightning Strike on Sad Robot to keep us away from getting down Lord Tresserhorn. I like that. All right, so we're going to click OK, draw into Fire Shrieker, and then, yeah, anything else, we're going to kick it over. Now, one thing that we can do is if we need to get the creature count back up, we can get down Crypt Breaker and get down Swiftfoot Boots onto Crypt Breaker. And then once we go for that 2-mana activation to get a 2/2 zombie, that'll at least allow us to have 2 creatures to sacrifice for Lord Tresserhorn. And then once we get down Swiftfoot Boots and Fire Shrieker, we've got ourselves a really nice axe to grind against Niv-Mizzet. So let's see what they ended up choosing off of Monastery Siege. Alright, so they choose Cons, which is the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card, then discard a card. Alright, so we got the Elemental swinging in. That's going to put us down to 20. And then draw to Graven. Let's go and get down Graven. Yeah, I don't mind getting down. We need to get down Thran Dynamo. Let's get down Thran Dynamo. Let's get down Swiftfoot Boots. Let's go and go for Crypt Breaker. Let's go for Swiftfoot Boots onto Crypt Breaker. Okay, that's going to give us hexproof, and that's going to also allow us to get an additional zombie once we discard a card. Then anything else, we're going to pass it over to our opponent. So next turn, we are looking at a Crypt Breaker activation to get down Lord Tresserhorn. We also need to get down Fire Shrieker to put it onto Lord Tresserhorn. That way we can start dealing some damage to our opponent. Now, depending on what they do this turn, I'd really like to get down Lord Tresserhorn and get him protected with Swiftfoot Boots. So if possible, I'd like to do that. We're looking at 1/2 for a Crypt Breaker activation. And then it's going to give us 1 for basically Thran Dynamo in the Crypt Breaker. It's going to give us a zombie. And then I think we can still get down Lord Tresserhorn and get Swiftfoot Boots equipped on the Lord Tresserhorn. So that's pretty much what our game plan is going to be at this point right now. Now, if they do get down Niv-Mizzet, we'll probably end up going for Hero's Downfall. As much as I like to use Hero's Downfall for Young Pyromancer, it's a little clunky at this point right now, because once they get down Niv-Mizzet, if Niv-Mizzet sticks around on the battlefield, it is really hard to get, you just get buried in card advantage. So we'll see what they end up going for this turn with only 5 mana, because that will put them on Niv-Mizzet for next turn. So if they end up tapping out for that, it's not the end of the world if they end up tapping out for that, and then we'll be able to go for Hero's Downfall on Niv-Mizzet. Alright, they're going to get down Darksteel Ingot. And then we'll be sending in 1 Elemental to knock us down to 17. That's fine, come on. Lord Tresserhorn, he's going to remember. And then we draw into Carrion Feeder. It's actually a little bit easier because we can actually just straight up get down Carrion Feeder and not have to worry about a Crypt Breaker activation. Let's get down Carrion Feeder, and let's go and go for Lord Tresserhorn. Oh, do they have the counter spell? Let's see if they've got it. If they've got the counterspell, they've only got 2 cards in the hand. Okay, so they do have counterspell. They'll give them another elemental on the battlefield. And unfortunately, we can still go and get down Fire Shrieker, so we'll go ahead and go for that. Let's get down Fire Shrieker. Nice play by our opponent. Now, if they do end up tapping out for Niv-Mizzet, we'll see how we want to sequence the next turn, but at least that does keep us on for Hero's Downfall on Niv-Mizzet. So let's just go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent at this point right now. But some of the fun stuff that we do have here in Lord Tresserhorn is that we do have Tainted Strike. So if we can draw into Tainted Strike, that's going to give Lord Tresserhorn Infect. It gives him +1. And well, you need 10 Infect damage to close the game out. But that +1 sometimes might make the difference in dealing some commander damage. And but yeah, I don't know, it's kind of fun. We also have Temur Battle Rage and Psychotic Fury. And so it's just one of this, Lord Tresserhorn, unfortunately, you have to sacrifice 2 creatures and they get 2 card draw. So when you're trying to play Lord Tresserhorn, it is a little bit, basically, if you get a win, you kind of have to earn your win. You really have to kind of get a little bit lucky, but it's still a fun deck to play, and just, I don't know, I was looking at different Halloween commanders to build, and I came across Lord Tresserhorn. I was like, God, that is just 100%, just straight up, just zombie man, like in some sort of horror movie. Okay, opponent will get down Niv-Mizzet, and that's going to be them completely tapping out for Niv-Mizzet. Now, if we do draw into something like Toxic Deluge, that will allow us to kind of get out from underneath these elementals, but we'll go and take this damage at this point right now. Okay, it's going to put us down to 12. And let's see what we draw into. Draw into Rakdos Signet. Yeah, let's go and get down Lord Tresserhorn. Now, if we get down Lord Tresserhorn, we're going to have to sacrifice 2 creatures, and that gives them Niv-Mizzet. That we can't go for Hero's Downfall. So let's do this. Let's go for Faithless Looting out of the graveyard. And that still keeps the mana up for Hero's Downfall. Okay, they're going to cash in a card draw off Niv-Mizzet. Draw into Graveborn Muse and Death House, Storehouse. Let's go and discard at this point Graveborn Muse, and we're going to get rid of Rakdos Signet. I was going to get the land drop down for the turn. I was going to go for Hero's Downfall on Niv-Mizzet. And unfortunately, we should have sequenced it to where we went for Hero's Downfall first before they got in an extra card draw. It was one of those where I just, I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do for the turn, so I just went for Faithless Looting real quick, and accidentally forgot about the Niv-Mizzet ability. So if you're wondering why I sequenced it that way, that was pretty much it. I just forgot about it. Alright, so opponent's going to deal 1 damage to us. It's going to put us down to 11. And that still gives us Crypt Breaker. Now, if we want to, we can actually equip Fire Shrieker onto Crypt Breaker. And that's probably what we'll end up doing at this point right now. That way we can at least kind of keep some of these elementals at bay until we can get something else going on our side of the battlefield. Let's go and go for Fire Shrieker onto Crypt Breaker. And then anything else, we're going to kick it back over to our opponent. So that way, if they do want to start swinging in with some of these elementals, we at least have Crypt Breaker down, and we can go for that double strike ability to kind of stop them. And then with Crypt Breaker's activated ability, we can actually use that to sacrifice something, at least get down a zombie to sacrifice to Lord Tresserhorn. Okay, they get down Manalith, and the good thing is that they've got 4 cards in the hand, so hopefully we can, the only downside is once we get down Lord Tresserhorn, there's going to be a couple card draw for them. Okay, they're going to swing with the 3 elementals. Let's go and go for a Crypt Breaker block on one of the elementals. And they draw into Painful Truce. At this point right now, we need to get something going, so let's just go and go for a straight up, very much as advertised, a very painful truth. Let's go and tap Graven. Alright, so we draw into Key to the City and Distortion Strike. Let's go and get down Urborg. And I guess we go for an activation. We can basically go for a Crypt Breaker activation during our opponent's turn. So let's go and do that. Let's just go and kick it back over to our opponent, and then we'll see if we can't get out from underneath this. But at this point right now, it's not looking so hot. We do have Damnation that we can draw into. We also have Toxic Deluge, but we'll see if we can't kind of build up a board state to at least kind of keep Niv-Mizzet from getting out from the chopping block of Lord Tresserhorn. Okay, opponent's going to go for Thing in the Eyes. Now, actually, now that I think about it, one of the only ways that we can get out from this is going to be Tainted Strike. We do have Key to the City. So if we get Distortion Strike, Tainted Strike, Key to the City down, make it unblockable, that might be our only way out of here. But we'll see what else they get down. Thankfully, they only got down Thing in the Eye. So let's go and go. Oh, man, dang it. And draw to Temple of Deceit. Okay, let's go and get down Temple of Deceit. Let's get that Scry going. Gilded Lotus, definitely going to put that on the bottom for right now. And let's go and go for Key to the City. And then we'll be able to go for that Crypt. I meant to go for the Crypt Breaker activation last turn, but unfortunately that auto yield on, so it basically kind of skipped through our turn. But yeah, so we need everything to go right for us to get down 2 zombies, get down Lord Tresserhorn, draw into Tainted Strike as a top deck, put Swiftfoot Boots and Fire Shrieker onto Lord Tresserhorn, and then swing in for infect damage. So we'll see what the Magic Gods have in store for us. So they flash in Dictator Crewfix, which is definitely going to give them some really nice card draw. Now, the only thing that we do need to be concerned about is, let's say that we do draw into Tainted Strike, or somehow we hit Demonic Tutor or something. Simply getting down, opponent getting down Thing in the Ice, and they can sequence enough instant or sorceries together, even if we do somehow hit the perfect draw, that will allow them to send everything back to our hand once they get Thing in the Ice to flip. Or they can simply just even do it now at this point right now. If they have 4 instant or sorceries, that's going to make the Awoken Horror be a 7/8, which will allow them to basically swing across and deal lethal damage to us. Okay, so they're completely tapping out for Niv-Mizzet, which is actually, we'll definitely take that. You know, we don't have to worry about any sort of Thing in the Eye shenanigans, and that does put us on some sort of top deck mode, so hopefully we can get that done. Let's see if they decide to swing in with a couple of the elementals. We still have Double Strike 2 to kind of stop that from happening. You know, let's go ahead and block on Young Pyromancer. And let's go for the Crypt Breaker activation. We're going to bust open the crypts and get a zombie token on the battlefield. That will take care of Young Pyromancer, and also them getting in for 2, which basically puts us down to 4. Okay, let's see what we draw into. Draw to Sulphur Falls. We do get to draw an additional card off Dictator Crewfix, though, and draw to Temple of Malice, so that is a bummer. I guess we'll go for, yeah, if we have to tap it down. Let's do this. We can still at least go for a Crypt Breaker activation. We have to tap down Lord Tresserhorn, but I think that's going to be it at this point, because they swing it in the air. Yeah, we'll still get down Lord Tresserhorn. That's going to give them a little bit of extra card draw, so let's go and cast Lord Tresserhorn. And what we can do is basically, once Lord Tresserhorn enters the battlefield, we can tap it down with Crypt Breaker. Basically, we're just trying to draw into a board wipe at this point right now. Let's go and go for Crypt Breaker activation, tap 3, untap zombies we control. We'll have to sacrifice the rest of them. We're drawn to, oh, bummer, we drawn to Dragon Skull Summit. Okay, good game to our opponent. Yeah, we'll sacrifice Crypt Breaker into the zombie token. We were really drawing slim on that one. They'll be able to do a little bit extra damage to us with Niv-Mizzet. So good game to our opponent. You can see where it's a little clunky playing Lord Tresserhorn, but it's still a really fun deck to kind of pilot, especially once you get those zombies going. It's a nice mix of zombies and Voltron. So unfortunately, we're not able to get down Niv-Mizzet on the chopping block, but hopefully in the next game we will. All right, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.